Hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to be going through. Essentially, we're going to be going through every level of the game. Just playing. Just basically, I'm going to be showing you how to play it. Sort of from a speedrunner's perspective. So this is a complete sort of level strategy guide. I'm going to be going through each level. No matter how long it takes. So it's not going to be an actual speedrun, so by the time we get to the end you'll probably notice the time will be at like 6-7 minutes because we're taking our time each level. I'm going to be explaining the in-depth sort of tricks, the details of each level, just how to do them efficiently, essentially how to speedrun. Now you may have noticed by now I've actually got a keyboard visualizer on the screen. I did want to do a hand cam originally, but I was trying to get my webcam in a position where it just wasn't very clear, so I looked up for keyboard visualizers and this I found this no board one. I'll link it in the description if you ever consider using it, if you ever make a video. Essentially it's quite good. The only other thing I need to say is I would really appreciate this, but if you watch this video and you found it helpful or taught you a thing or two, then please feel free to give it a like and share it with a friend or someone that's looking to get into speedrunning this game. The reason being is I find people play this game for a bit, and then once they get to a point where they find it too hard, they just stop playing. So I want this video to help as many people as possible, just teaching them how to do things, etc. So but yeah, without any further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, so before we even get into the run, there's a couple of things that we need to take care of first. So whenever you watch someone speedrun of this game, you might notice that when they get to level 15, the exit pipe is always open. Now I've seen this on a lot of the higher kind of tier runners, but it's a trick that I do myself, but I noticed that some people still actually refresh the page. Obviously this isn't quite as easy as just going to an open door, so but just before we actually get into the levels, I'll show you how to do this trick, because you ideally you need to do it before you actually start speedrunning. So what I've done is I've already completed every level up until level 15 just prior to doing this run. That's why I've taken so long and died 6 times. So essentially what you want to do is, as you can see, when you get to here, the door's closed. Now, the way you're supposed to complete the level is by refreshing the page, but obviously you need to do that every time. But this trick essentially allows you to just, when you get to this level, the door's already open, and this happens every time. So what you want to do is just right click the tab up here, and see where it says duplicate, just click on duplicate. Now obviously it'll open another tab. Now this one here, we can get rid of that, we don't need that anymore. We're just going to use this new one. So what we'll do is once it loads, I'll just come up in a minute, should be able to just go back in, and the door should be open. I'll just give it a try. Okay, so as you saw, the door open. Now because you've done that in a new tab, that door should be open every time now. Basically it should always be open. The other thing you want to take care of is the level 27, which is called credits page. The idea behind that one is you're supposed to get to the level, and then just exit, go to credits, and then hit main menu and unlock 27 for me. The problem is you can do this before level 27 and it works every single time, and you just end up with essentially a level 15, an open door for you to go to. So we're just going to click that as well. Okay, once you've taken care of these two things, this is where you're going to want to start your speedrun. So I say we'll get into that just now. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into we're going to go through the full game now. Just each individual level, and I'll just try and explain my best how they're done, because as I said, there's a consistent strategy essentially for every level, or at least there's obviously some people use different strategies depending on what ones suit them. So yeah, so I'm just going to go through, just going to play each level and just sort of explain the details of each trick that I'm doing. And I said obviously that's once you've got those, obviously once you've done the refresh and the 27, you're basically just good to go. So let's get into it. So I'm going to need to restart the game because I was at level 15, I think. So once you launch the game, so the first level is called arrow keys required. So this is just your straightforward 4 arrow keys kind of thing. Now the way you do this one is I can't do it now because I waited for my elephant to hit the ground. The way you're supposed to do these types of levels, the ones where you go from here, you hit the button and you go to the pipe, is when your elephant falls from here, you actually bounce a little bit And what you then do is you take advantage of that bounce to, and then you go hold right or hold whatever button is right, because the second one switches it up, and then you jump, and you then use that added height to, so when you essentially hit this button, you jump a little bit and you just fall through here and then hit there. If you've done this, if you do this trick correctly, you shouldn't need to release the right arrow key to allow yourself to fall. You should just be able to hold the button down and you'll fall naturally. So having said that, let's just get right into it. So what I'll do is I'll panic and I'll show you how in full speed. So you'll notice on the keyboard visualizer that I didn't even take my finger off the right button there. The way I done the jump was that I just held it in and I fell naturally. And if you do these levels correctly, that's how you should beat all of them. So we're just going to do the same with this one now. Obviously, not always straightforward. It's the same, except right is left and left is right, essentially. So we're going to give that a try. Just go panic. As you can see, done it again. Now I could have saved some time there probably. So this one is, again, think before doing. Now there's a trick for these levels as well. See these kind of ones where you just go from here to here, no button press involved. What you can do is you can do this and just hold the button, but the problem is there's actually a quicker way of doing it. So what you do is you panic. Now you'll notice that as I'm panicking, I'm going to hold the up and the right arrow key. So watch this. Now obviously I done that very quickly, but essentially the way I done that there was as you're entering the level, so as level 3 finishes and goes, as level 2 finishes goes into level 3, you hold up and right, and your character will essentially sort of jump from the pipe and fall. And then what to do is as you hit this bit here, jump again, you'll hit the roof, and that will save you a bit of time. Okay, so level 4, so a lot of people always kind of used to, what they do is they would drag the elephant like this to there, but that takes too much time really. The way to do it is probably the most simple level, just to click the exit pipe. As level 4 fades in, just click that and you should be able to do it. Now free falling is one of these ones that a lot of people tend to struggle with. There's a somewhat consistent strategy for it that I do, is where I literally just press up and right like this, and then I hold the right arrow key. Now that level didn't go successfully, the reason being is because I actually hit that and it slowed me down. Sorry, I hit up here and it slowed me down. I had to wait a couple of extra moments to fall. So I'll try that again. So the idea is you want to get past, brush the button on the way by, and then hit the pipe. This. Oh, sorry. Like that. Also, you could probably do it better than me. Now, this one, which I'll go into in a minute, I just want to comment on level 5. Level 5, there is another strategy for doing it where it's similar to the other ones in level 3, where you hold up and right and you do a jump. I haven't done that one, I've always done the level that way, but you're welcome to experiment and try yourself. This one is fairly simple. What it is, when the level starts, you'll notice that you'll start jumping. Literally all you need to do is hold the right arrow key. The elephant will go from there to there to there, then up to here. Now this bit's important. When it gets to here, you press the jump key, so you press the up arrow key, and then that actually causes your elephant to fall a lot faster and then bounce into the pipe. So I'll show you that in real time. Watch this. Very quick. Okay, so this one is dull appearances, so quite an easy one, but there is a trick involved for it. So obviously, what you need to do is as the level starts, so as you fall out the pipe, before the level starts, you need to hold right, but don't hold it too much, otherwise you'll miss the spikes and hit here, and then you'll have to go back to the spikes, and that just wastes time. So as you're falling, so let me show you. To ensure you save even more time, make sure when you bounce up from the spikes, you hit this little bit up here, so I'll do that again. Oh, sorry, I messed that up there. And then, as I said before, you shouldn't need to release the button, you should just be able to hold it in and fall if you've done it correctly. Just like that. Okay, so level 8, this one always kind of freaks people out. It's essentially the same as the first level where you wait for your elephant to fall, hold right. The problem is with this one, certain jumps will kill you, so do you remember how I mentioned before about the little bit of height you gain when you hit here? That's important, because otherwise if you don't do the jump correctly, you'll hit this colour and you'll die. So let me just show you. So that was done almost correctly, except I went over and I had to. So the way, if you do it correctly, as I said, you should just be able to fall whilst holding the button. So I'll try that again. So that's how you do it. That is how you would have done it. The key is basically to sort of jump just as you hit the pink, so like this. Obviously you can see I didn't do that correctly. So that's how it's done. It's essentially the same as level 1. Arrow control, again, it was one that seems to kind of freak people out, but essentially you just move the mouse, click to jump. So it's just, you use the mouse cursor to move, click, jump, so you left click, sorry. And what you want to do is just, oh, sorry, jump, hit the button. Very easy. Okay, so this one, what I'll do is, it's called heavy wind here. Now, the way you do this one obviously is if I let go of this, you're just going to constantly get knocked into the spikes. Now, it's kind of difficult to demonstrate this one, but obviously when you fade into the level, what happens is, obviously as you're fading into the level, hold right to sort of push yourself forward, and then once you get to the edge, so what I'll do is I'll panic and I'll show you. See that little jump your character does as I'm holding right, see where he jumps off into the spikes? When he reaches the height of that jump, so when he gets to about here, do this. Now, this is where I feel it's important to bring up a major mechanic of this is the only level, and that is the longer you hold in the jump button, the sort of further you jump. And this can be really useful here because obviously the amount of time you save on this level is dependent on essentially how you hold the power button. How you hold the jump button. So what you'll see this in a minute already. So you'll notice if I don't jump far enough, I end up getting a bit of delay here where I can't jump, so what I'm going to do is just try that again. So this is how the level should look. So you'll notice there I wasn't able to jump for a split second, which did cost me some time, so I'm going to try that again. Yep. So if done correctly, you should just be able to bypass that bit completely. Just hold the button, jump twice at the end to get you into the goal. Alright, this one, no returns, no refunds, so essentially it's the same as level 1 with one major difference: you're not allowed to go back, so you can't make a mistake on this one basically. So if you overshoot the button or get here, you're screwed. So basically what you do is panic. Just the same as level 1, normal. This one is much the same, except you can sort of go a bit earlier, so as soon as the elephant hits here, just start holding right. Very easy stuff. Now the next one, which was this one was always a bit of a pain for doing a speed run, because it was always one of those run killer ones where you would have a good time and basically you would be pretty fast up to this point, and this level would basically decide what run you got depending on how quickly you finished it. So what I'm going to do is the trick for this one now. It's called left, right, and march. So on that basis, you would think if you held right, what you would do is you would press right and left like this to finish the level. And you can finish the level that way. The problem is it's very slow, and most people, if you'd done the level this way, you just wouldn't get there quick enough in order to get a 2-minute cycle run. So what you had to do was, I'll just panic again. Now this trick was actually discovered by a user. Let me just find the, I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. I'll see if I can find it on Speedrun. Hold on. If my internet wants to let me, or it might just be Speedrun being slow. It doesn't matter. Well, I'll come back to that at the end there, but essentially what the trick you had to do was, I'll panic just to show you again, hold right, and then so you'll notice on the keyboard visualizer I'm holding down right and pressing left. Now you can't see my hands obviously, but what I'm actually doing is I'm using my my ring finger on my right hand to hold in the right button, and then I'm using my my 2 index fingers on my right and left hand to spam the left side like this, and you'll notice how much quicker I'm doing it. So what I'll do is I'll panic again, just show you it in real time. Obviously I'm using a mechanical keyboard, so I'm sure that's a lovely treat for your ears. That again, that's easy, but I mean you do have to do it in a certain time. On a real-time speedrun, you need to finish that level by about 1 minute 4 seconds if you want to get a chance of doing a 2-minute cycle run. Okay, so we'll come back to that though, but the next one, One Leap of Faith, again similar to level 1 except you can only jump once, so you need to do this first time. The way you're going to do this is just by panic, so as you fall, just same as before. Now I know some of you are probably thinking you covered all these levels in your last kind of history of this is the only level video. I did, but I don't feel like I went into enough detail on them. I just kind of said, right, this is how you do it. I didn't actually go into detail on how to do them. So that, again, this one, level 15, time to refresh. We've already talked about this at the start. So essentially what you want to do is just panic, and then, sorry, so, oh crap. So it's not giving me a chance. What we'll do is, when the level fades in, hold the up and right key like this. So what I'll do is I can come back to that. So it didn't work that time, but if you're doing this level in real time, if you just hold up and right, you should just be able to sort of jump from the pipe and then hit this platform here, do your, do the usual. You should be able to see that. So keep hitting it. Again, this one can be a bit of a run killer depending on how quickly you do it. So just gonna panic to show you how the jump again. Now, what to do is, I just realised, sorry, I made a mistake there. You don't want to do a normal jump with this one. The reason being is if you do the jump where you do this, you're going to overshoot the button, and a key part in this level is hitting the button as quickly as possible. Now, the way you would do it originally would be you would jump like this, but it's very slow, as you can see, it's quite plodding. So what I'm going to do is, the trick which was found was to panic. So what you had to do was jump like this. So fall short of it intentionally, hold right, and then keep spamming left so your elephant sort of goes left and right really quickly like this. Now you need to hit the button, I think it's 4 times, let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 times you need to hit the button. So that means if you're doing it this way, then you need to go very quickly like that. This one can come down to luck because it just depends on how lucky you are with, the timing, etc. But you can work that timing down through practice. Worries about nothing, level 17, very straightforward, closing the name, it's just level 1 essentially, so just do that, jump as you come in. Just like level 1. Now collapse, this was one that used to kind of frighten a lot of people. Even on a speedrun, this level can be frightening because you can get to, like, the way I do this level, the way you need to do this level is to go here. I'm just going to ignore it, so I'm just going to mute the sound because I don't want to hear the constant, the hitting of him landing there whilst I'm trying to explain this. So you want to go over here to this where I'm circling. The problem was what you do is you would jump there, and if you pressed the arrow key too much, you would hit the spikes and die, and that would essentially ruin the run that you had, ruin the 2-minute pace run that you had going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sound back on. And then what you want to do is just going to panic this, hold right, fall, jump up, and then go there. Oh, so I'll just explain that again. So hold right as the level fades in. When you hit the ground, you will notice you jump a little bit, you gain a little bit of height from naturally jumping. Once you reach the peak of that height, jump again, but this time press the arrow key, jump up here. Once you're up, jump up here again, and then land over here. And you should just allow yourself to fall through and hit the exit pipe. Obviously though, just be wary of hitting the spikes because it can happen. Now collapse is an interesting one. It's probably, when you're doing a really tense run and you get to 19, it's a bit like a breath of fresh air because you can sort of relax a bit because it takes longer than other levels. So the way you want to do this one is, as the elephant's falling, what I like to do is count 3 times as he falls, so like this. 1, 2, 3, and then hold the right button. As you're holding the right, as soon as you hold the right button, hold the jump button as well, so hold up and keep it held. The reason I say keep it held is because you'll notice as soon as he landed there, he done a jump and activated the button. Now, doing the jump, hitting the button and getting over it is much quicker than actually just hitting the button and walking across, which I'll show you in a minute. So you might be worried, oh, what if I miss the jump and fall off? Well, that can happen, but so what I'll do is I won't do the jump this time, I'll just do this. You'll notice how slow that is, it's slower than just doing the jump. If you do the jump properly now, this is where it comes back to that thing about the longer you hold your jump. So what you do is, don't hold your jump once you've hit the button, so let me show you. So hold it here, hold it as much as you can so you can get there. Then as soon as you hit it, Sorry, I messed that up. Hold it, keep it held. Oh. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't jumping there, it's a bit of a pain. So again, keep it held. Now as soon as your character does a jump... That was too early. Sorry, I'm a bit confused here, I don't know why my character's... What I'll do is I'll just jump like this. I showed you earlier on, but I'm not sure why I wasn't jumping there because I was holding the button. So once you reach here, just jump again, hit the button on your way up, and you should notice, just let yourself fall here because you don't want to land on this platform, that'll waste even more time. And just hold the button until you reach the exit pipe. Now, level 20, which I was going to talk about, do you remember? So this is a blank level. The problem, the thing is with this level, you've likely played the game or practiced the game enough by this point, you don't even need to see it, it's just like, it's a case of when do you press the buttons. So again, I'll panic this one. It's just the same as level 1. If you release the button and press the buttons at the right time, then you should be able to just go through fall as normal. But again, that will just come down to how much you play the game. Right, so this is level 21, in between gravity. This is the real run killer. I can't tell you how many times I've had a 2-minute cycle run pace run get ruined by this level. So what you want to do here is, I'm just going to panic this now. You need to hold right as you enter this level, and then your character will hit the green. Once you land on the green, you'll go up. Once you hit the pink, you'll go down, and then you hit the button. And then what you then want to do is, if you've done it right, you should be able to then just fall from here and then hold right and then enter the pipe. It's very difficult. That's why I'm trying to explain it in the best way I can, but I think the best way to do it is just to let me show you how I've done it. Okay, so what I'll do is panic. Oh, messed it up because I held it too much. You'll notice that I'm on the edge. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna panic that again. So once you go here, don't worry about the right. If you hold the right and you don't go in because you went too high, just go back to the pink, lower yourself down, and then just press right again and you should be fine. But again, that's something you're going to need to learn through practice and watching other people's runs. It's kind of difficult to explain on this. Mine's Folly, very easy, but I have been caught out by this one before purely because I forgot. On the face of it, it seems like a normal level, you know, you use the arrow keys, all that, you press the button. But the problem is, if you go down here like you normally would, you just fall. The only way to get around that is just to jump over here. And it does cost a couple extra seconds, but it should be okay. Okay, center keyboard, again, very straightforward, just to use the T, F, H instead of the arrow keys. So just panic that, and just the same as level 1 essentially. Obviously you want to do it right though. Oh. There you go. Level 24, which is uppercase, so again just hold the, let me just panic that. Jump, but make sure you have, oh, sorry. So again, just do the trick with the up and right, but make sure you hold the arrow key, so as the level's loading, hold up and right to do the trick. Jump in the middle, but make sure you're holding the caps lock key to get through. When it feels like it, so this is the level which will decide your cycle, so I'll just go into that again. So for those that don't know, a cycle is, well, you've heard me say 2-minute cycle in this video. So essentially on level 25, the door will open every 10 seconds. Now, a 2-minute cycle is when you get to the level, when you get to this level on 2 minutes and get through the door. This is currently the fastest known cycle you can get. There have been theories of a 150 cycle, but they're really hard to get because well, essentially you can't really get much faster than this. So essentially any time that we get now is going to be 2 minutes 24 something. So what I'll do is I'll go for this one. So, but really your trick with this one is just the same, just hold up and right. So I'll do that again. It didn't work that time because I'm panicking a lot, because I keep hitting panic. It's not doing it properly. So what I'll do is I'll just jump. Oh, shouldn't have happened. Jump, And then what you want to do is, now the problem with this level is to really save time. So see if you're going for a world record run, any milliseconds you can get will save you. So what you want to do is hold this, just before the pipe opens, jump, and you should be able to save time. Now there's been a problem with this where if you jump too high, you actually fall on the next level even if you hold in up and right. And you can't do the trick, because the way you do level 26 and 27 is you need to do the hold up and right thing and just get to the end, jump in the middle, obviously do this. Or is it, let me just go back to the video. So the level, or is it, level 26 is just the same, just the gate isn't actually there, it's just a drawing, so you can just go right through. Level 27 is much the same, just hold up and right and hit the end. It's credits page, by the way, so that was the one we sorted out earlier on. Usually that door would be open, but essentially you just, you went to the main menu, you do it at the start and the door will always be open, so at that point you can pretty much just do the... Yep, do that and hit there. Okay, so level 28 is, I can't remember what it's called, but it's you're all zoomed in essentially. It's just the same as level 1 except you're zoomed in, so again, it doesn't really matter, as long as you know the way to press the buttons, you're okay. So I'm just going to panic on this one. For those wondering how I panicked there, I actually hit tab twice, and then once it highlights, you'll see down here, once it highlighted the panic option, I just hit enter, and that's how I done it. So closing shop, so same as level 20, sorry, same as level 1, but if you, once you hit the button to open the door, it will close shortly after, so you need to be very quick. And then finally for level 30, it's the same, except the further you go in the level, the darker it gets. So by the time you actually reach this power button, the door button, you're in complete darkness. Now obviously, the trick with these levels, obviously, when you get to the fall bit, you need to know you've gained height, so you can just let yourself go, and then you just keep holding right. So you do need to have, you really need to work on your timing for this bit, but the way it goes is this, so let me just show you. So about now, just release, and you should beat the level. And that, guys, was my that was my strategy guide. I hope you found it helpful. This is probably the worst time I've ever had. 20 minutes, 17 seconds, 725 milliseconds, and 197 deaths. I'm considering submitting that to speedrun.com purely for the bants, but we'll see how it goes. But seriously, guys, I hope you really enjoyed that video. I won't bother repeating what I said at the start. I just, if you found it helpful, consider sharing it on. But I really hope you found this video helpful in some way. Sorry about the level 19. I don't know what happened there. I hope my explanations on the tricks of the levels was clear and concise. If it wasn't, feel free to let me know in the comments. I tried my best with what I could do, just explaining each level. But like I said, if you need any help, if you want me to go into any more detail, obviously you can get me on Discord on the This Is The Only Level Discord server. Or you can just comment on the video and I'll try my best to help you out. But other than that, I won't say anything more other than I wish you guys all have a good day. Thank you.